So the first type of sentence that we are going to study is simple sentence. Now what is a simple sentence? A simple sentence is the very basic kind of sentence. It has one subject and one predicate, and it has only one finite verb. As soon as you read a simple sentence, you'll understand that this is a simple sentence, because there are no different types and different conjunctions and all that in this. Okay, it has just one subject and one predicate, and only one finite verb. Fine, it has just one clause. There are no different clauses in this. It has only one clause. Okay, so for example, the first example is an honest man is loved by all. Okay, now you can see in this sentence you have only one clause, that is an honest man is loved by all. This complete thing is one. Okay, there are no different clauses in this. Okay, it has one subject, an honest man, one predicate, is loved by all, and it has only one finite verb, that is loved. Okay, second example is the birds are flying in the sky. Here also there's only one clause. Okay, the birds is the subject, are flying in the sky is the predicate. So we can see that सिंपल सेंटेंस इज वन इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज. ये एक ऐसा क्लॉज होता है जो एक इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज होता है. इट हैज़ ओनली वन मेन क्लॉज और वन इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज, and it has one subject and one predicate and one finite verb. This is the simplest kinds of sentence. Okay, it can have more than one phrases, but it will always have only one clause, that is one main clause or one independent clause. ठीक है, only one clause which can exist without any help, without any support. Okay, so it will only have one main clause and one subject and one predicate, nothing else. Clear? The next type of sentence that we have is the compound sentence. Now what is a compound sentence? A compound sentence has two independent clauses or two main clauses. Okay, it has two independent clauses and they are joined by coordinating conjunctions. Now what are coordinating conjunctions? Remember in the class I told you fanboys. Okay, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. These are coordinating conjunctions. So compound sentence will have two independent clauses and they will be joined by coordinating conjunctions. The first example is the sun rose and everything looked bright. Now see, there are two clauses, two independent clauses. The sun rose, this can also exist independently, and everything looked bright, this can also exist independently. Okay, neither of them is dependent on the other one. Fine. So the sun rose is a main clause and everything looked bright, this is also a main clause, and both of these clauses are joined by the coordinating conjunction and. So this sentence is a compound sentence. Next one, I got the book from the library and read it and enjoyed it. Now there are three main clauses in this. Okay, I got the book from the library is the first main clause. Second main clause is I read it. Okay, and के साथ जब and लगाए हैं तो we have omitted the subject, that is I. Okay, so I got the book from the library and I read it and I enjoyed it. So I read it is the second main clause and I enjoyed it is the third main clause. Okay, so there are three main clauses joined by coordinating conjunction, and other examples are also given in your book. Okay, now the next type of sentence that we are going to study is complex sentence. So what is a complex sentence? A complex sentence has one main clause and one or more dependent clause. Dependent clause को और क्या बोलते हैं? Subordinate clause. ठीक है? So a complex sentence will have only one main clause and it will have one or more than one dependent clause. The dependent clause will be dependent on the main clause. Okay? Example, we returned when the sun set. अब इसमें main clause क्या है? इसमें main clause है we returned. And what is the subordinate clause or the dependent clause? When the sun set. अब we returned can exist independently in a sentence. ठीक है, अगर मैं कहती हूँ we returned, so that is a complete sentence, it gives complete meaning. But if I say when the sun set, it does not give complete meaning. So इसलिए ये dependent clause है. ठीक है, so we returned is the main clause, when the sun set is the dependent clause. Okay, so when these two are joined together, we returned when the sun set, it forms a complex sentence. Next example is I dreamt that I lived in marble halls. Okay, I dreamt that I lived in marble halls. Now, what is the main clause in this? I dreamt. And what is the subordinate clause or the dependent clause in this? That I lived in marble halls. Okay, I dreamt, it can exist independently, that is why it is the main clause. And subordinate clause, that I lived in marble halls, cannot exist independently. It is dependent on the main clause. That I lived in marble halls is not giving complete meaning, right? So that is why it is the subordinate clause, and when these two are joined together, it becomes a complex sentence. Okay, so what is a complex sentence? A complex sentence will have one main clause and one or more than one dependent clauses. Clear? The next type of sentence is the complex compound sentence. Now this type of sentence is complex also and it is compound also. ठीक है, तो compound sentences में क्या होता है? Two main clauses होते हैं. Complex sentence में क्या होता है? There is one main clause and one or more than one subordinate clause. अब इन दोनों को जब जोड़ देते हैं, then we get the complex compound sentence. What does this mean? That a complex compound sentence will have two main clauses as in the compound sentence, and it will have one or more than one subordinate clauses or dependent clauses, which is the complex sentence. ठीक है, तो two main clauses and one or more dependent clauses. Example, I woke up at 6 o'clock because I had to hit the gym, but I was too sleepy to get out of bed. Now see, this type of sentence, complex compound sentence, will be a long sentence. ठीक है, अब देखो इसमें दो मेन क्लॉज तो होंगे ही और एक या एक से ज़्यादा सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉज भी होगा. ठीक है, now look at the sentence which is given. I woke up at 6 o'clock. This is the main clause because it can exist independently. I woke up at 6 o'clock. ठीक है, sentence complete gives complete meaning. So this is one main clause. Second main clause is I was too sleepy to get out of bed. ये भी ठीक है. ठीक है, this sentence in itself can exist independently, right? So these two are the main clauses. I woke up at 6 o'clock but I was too sleepy to get out of bed. Now you see but is again a coordinating conjunction. Two main clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction. अब देखो अगर हम इस सेंटेंस को ऐसे लिखे, I woke up at 6 o'clock but I was too sleepy to get out of bed, तो ये सेंटेंस भी कंप्लीट है ना. नाउ इफ आई जॉइन दीज टू सेंटेंसेज ओनली एंड रिमूव द सेंटर पार्ट बिकॉज आई हैड टू हिट द जिम, अगर इस पार्ट को हटा दिया जाए, सिर्फ इतना देखा जाए दैट आई वोक अप एट 6 o'clock बट आई वॉज टू स्लीपी टू गेट आउट ऑफ बेड, then this will become a compound sentence because two main clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction but. ठीक है, लेकिन हमने बीच में क्या लगा दिया है? बिकॉज आई हैड टू हिट द जिम. नाउ व्हाट इज बिकॉज? बिकॉज इज अ सबऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शन. ठीक है, सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉजेस के साथ सबऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शन यूज होता है. ठीक, तो बिकॉज इज अ सबऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शन. बिकॉज आई हैड टू हिट द जिम इज द dependent clause or the subordinate clause. ठीक है, so two main clauses. I woke up at 6 o'clock but I was too sleepy to get out of bed. These are two main clauses and one subordinate clause because I had to hit the gym. समझ में आया? So that forms a complex compound sentence. Complex sentence भी होगा और compound sentence भी होगा. Okay, now with this we complete this chapter, kinds of sentences. The next chapter which we are going to study is conditionals. Okay, the conditionals or the conditional sentence. So children, since this chapter conditional sentences or conditionals is a very small chapter and it is very easy, that is why I decided to teach it. Okay, so that we are done with it. Fine. So as the name suggests, conditional sentences, condition, that simply tells us that there will be a condition. Okay, now see this box which is given here. The sentences beginning with if express a condition. Okay, जो sentences if से शुरू होते हैं, they express a condition, right? There is a condition, there is a case based on which the rest of the action in the sentence follows. अब उस condition के according the rest of the action in the sentence happens. Okay, so there is a condition based on which the rest of the action in the sentence happens. Such sentences are only called conditionals or conditional sentences. Now conditional sentences, they are made up of two clauses. ठीक है, there is one subordinate clause which contains the condition. जो subordinate clause होता है उसमें condition होता है. ठीक है, and the main clause is the outcome ऑफ द कंडीशन. ठीक है, अगर वो कंडीशन पूरी हो जाती है, इफ द कंडीशन इज फुलफिल्ड, देन द मेन क्लॉज इज द आउटकम ऑफ द कंडीशन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, if it rains, the match will get cancelled. Now see here, if it rains, this is the condition कि अगर बारिश होगी. ठीक है, this is the condition and it is the subordinate clause. The match will get cancelled. This is the main clause and the outcome of the condition. Outcome means result of the condition की अगर बारिश होगी, if it rains. This does not make complete sense in itself, right? This is the condition and the डिपेंडेंट क्लॉज. ठीक है, अगर बारिश होगी तो क्या होगा, व्हाट विल हैपन, व्हाट विल बी द रिजल्ट ऑफ द कंडीशन, द मैच विल गेट कैंसल्ड. नाउ द मैच विल गेट कैंसल्ड इन itself is an independent clause. It can exist independently, right? The match will get cancelled. Fine. So this is the main clause and the outcome of the condition. Okay, the A exercise and the B exercise are done. You can see it and do it. Okay. The next is the types of conditionals. अब conditional sentences के types होते हैं. There are 3 types of conditional sentences. The first conditional, the second conditional and the third conditional. Now what are the first conditional sentences? In first conditional sentences, the possibility of the condition being fulfilled is very high. Okay, so that means in the action which is to happen, the condition, the chance of fulfilling the condition is very high. Then it is called the first conditional sentences. When the possibility of the condition being fulfilled, वो condition पूरा हो, इस चीज़ के chances बहुत high होते हैं. First conditionals have the structure, underline the structure, if plus simple present which is the condition, and then we will add will, and then there will be the verb which will be the result of the action. Now look at the example, you will understand. If we reach on time, now we reach is the verb here, right? If we reach on time, reach किस tense में है? It is in simple present tense. We will get the train. Now see, we have used will and then there is the verb which is the result of the action. We will get the train. That means if we reach on time, we will get the train. अब इसके chances बहुत ज़्यादा है कि हाँ अगर time पे पहुँचेंगे तो it is very obvious that we will be able to catch the train. Similarly, second sentence is, if I manage to get admission in this institution, I will have a better future. Means why do you take admission in big schools and colleges? What is the reason? Because you know that if you study in such big institution, very good institutions, then what will happen? You will have a better future. So the condition being fulfilled, the chance of the condition being fulfilled is very high. ठीक है, तो that is called the first conditional sentence and we already have the structure. We have seen if plus see simple present, manage to get admission in this, जो condition होगा वो simple present में होगा. ठीक है, manage is the simple present tense and then will have a better future. We have added will which is the result. will कब यूज़ होता है? फ्यूचर टेंस में यूज़ होता है ना. अगर आज एडमिशन अच्छे स्कूल में लेंगे तो आज के आज ही अच्छा फ्यूचर नहीं बनेगा, जब वहाँ से पढ़ के निकलेंगे तब अच्छा फ्यूचर बनेगा ना. तो द कंडीशन इज इन सिंपल प्रेजेंट एंड द आउटकम ऑफ द कंडीशन विल बी इन द फ्यूचर टेंस. ओके, then the second conditionals. Now what are the second conditionals? In second conditional sentences, it is possible to fulfill the condition but it is unlikely to happen. Means in second conditional sentences जो condition होती है वो fulfill की जा सकती है but the condition is, the chances of it happening is very less, but it is very unlikely to happen. Okay, in second conditional sentences it is possible to fulfill the condition but it is very unlikely to happen. Unlikely to happen means chances are very less. Now what is the structure of the second conditional sentences? If plus the condition is in the simple past tense and the result is in would. Okay, we do not use will, we use would here क्योंकि chances कम है. will कब यूज़ होता है? जब chances ज़्यादा होते हैं. would कब यूज़ करते हैं? जब chances कम होते हैं. ठीक है, if I knew her taste in books, I would choose a suitable one for her. If I knew her taste in books means उसको कैसी books पसंद है. If I knew that what types of books she liked, then I would have chosen a better one, for a suitable one for her. Right? What does this mean? This means that मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि उसको कैसी books पसंद है. Right? If I knew means I do not really know that what is her taste in books. If I knew, okay, if I knew her taste in books, I would choose a suitable one for her. Why have we used would? Because it is very unlikely to happen, because I do not know her taste in books, right? Second example is, if I knew where the baking dish was, I would bake a chocolate cake for you. If I knew, that means I do not know. If I knew, this is the simple past. मुझे पता नहीं है. That is why we have used the simple past tense. The condition is in the simple past tense, whereas the outcome, the result is in the would form. Okay, it is in the it is in the future tense, but with would, not with will. If I knew where the baking dish was, I would bake a chocolate cake for you. Understood? Then we have the third conditional. Now, what are the third conditionals? In third conditional sentences, there is no possibility, zero possibility of the condition being fulfilled as it refers to in the past. मतलब जो condition था वो fulfill होता कभी क्यों नहीं हुआ? Because the action has already happened. It has already completed in the past. Okay. Now, what is the structure of the third conditionals? If प्लस पास्ट परफेक्ट. पास्ट परफेक्ट क्यों यूज करते हैं? क्योंकि वो ऑलरेडी हो चुका है. इट हैज ऑलरेडी हैपेंड इन द पास्ट. ठीक है. देन द कंडीशन, द रिजल्ट इज इन द वुड हैव फॉर्म. किए होते, अगर पता होता तो, पास्ट में. ठीक है. वी डू नॉट नो. Example, if I had known how boring the film is, I would not have gone to watch it. Means if only I knew that the film would be very boring, then I would not have gone to watch it. Okay, that means अगर मुझे पता होता, मतलब फिल्म देखने के पहले, अब तो मैं फिल्म देख चुका हूँ. ठीक है. So if I had known how boring the film is, I would not have gone to watch it. Then next example is, if you had not eaten street food you would not have fallen ill. ये तो सबकी मम्मियाँ बोलती हैं ना कि अगर बाहर का खाना नहीं खाए होते तो तबीयत खराब नहीं हुई होती. What does that mean? कि हम बाहर का खाना खा चुके हैं और हमारी तबीयत ऑलरेडी खराब है, right? So this has already happened in the past. Clear? Now we cannot change this. Okay, it has already happened. हो चुका है. अब हम उसको बदल नहीं सकते. अब बस हम काश में जी रहे हैं. ठीक है, कि काश ऐसा किया होता. That is the third conditional. We have already discussed the tenses, right? Tenses in the conditional sentences while I was asking you to underline the structure. वैसा ही tense है, right? Now we'll discuss conditionals without using if. अब कुछ conditional sentences ऐसे भी होते हैं जहाँ हम if का use नहीं करते हैं. Instead of if, we use words like had, provided, in case and unless. ठीक है. तो if की जगह we use had, provided, in case and unless. Example, if I had understood the importance of regular exercise, I would have gone to the gym more often. Now tell me, which conditional sentence is this? This is the third conditional sentence. Would have use हुआ है ना? So this is the third conditional. Okay. Now instead of if I change it into had I understood the importance of regular exercise. अब had use करेंगे ना, तो पहले we will use the subject, then we will use the verb. Had I understood. ठीक है. had के बाद I आया, I के बाद understood आया. Had I understood the importance of regular exercise, I would have gone to the gym more often. Second example is, if Samriddhi does not wish to go to the picnic herself, it's no use trying to convince her. Means if we use unless instead of if, so how will we frame the sentence? Unless Samriddhi wishes. Unless के साथ क्या होता है? सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस. ओके. अनलेस समृद्धि विशेस. अनलेस का मतलब क्या होता है? अनलेस इन इट सेल्फ इज अ नेगेटिव वर्ड. ओके. अनलेस इन इट सेल्फ इज अ नेगेटिव वर्ड. जब तक वो नहीं वाला. ठीक है. सो अनलेस समृद्धि विशेस टू गो टू द पिकनिक हर सेल्फ, इट्स नो यूज ट्राइंग टू कन्विंस हर. Then third one, if you want me to make Chinese food for dinner tonight, you will have to help me finish the household chores. Okay. So instead of if, we have used in case. In case you want me to make Chinese food for dinner tonight, then the rest of the sentence will follow. Okay. I hope you are understanding. And the last example is, you may attend the concert tomorrow if you complete your assignment today. So instead of if, we are using provided here. You may attend the concert tomorrow provided that you complete the assignment today. Okay, provided means तुम ये कर लो तभी तुम कॉन्सर्ट कल का अटेंड कर पाओगे, कर सकते हो. ठीक है, सो दैट इज हाउ वी यूज कंडीशनल्स विदाउट यूजिंग if. Okay, mark if you have any problem. Read the tenses of the conditionals. We have already discussed in while I was teaching you the types of conditionals. Okay, so if you have any problem in the tenses, let me know. I'll explain it. I'm sending you the PDF also of the exercises. Okay, thank you children.